Gailkasla Nuguam Lucy, Gayuchanlach Dokwadi. My name is Lucy Heshe. I'm from the Gwasanachtaf Nation on northern Vancouver Island. I'm Scottish and Irish and Nahuatl and Leafwickdo on my mother's side, and I'm Métis, Irish and German on my father's side. I grew up in Zolkwadi, and I've spent a lot of time on the water and in the forest. And when I was a kid, I learned a lot about harvesting traditional foods, and especially berries. I spent a lot of time berry picking and cutting fish and jarring fish and smoking fish. I started to learn about traditional medicines because my sister hurt herself, and Elder Wata from the Kwagil First Nation gave her some spruce pitch medicine. Like, it was made with the sap or the pitch from a spruce tree, and it healed my sister's injury. And so at that young age, I started to develop an interest in our traditional medicines. So I started to learn about them just by talking to our elders and parents and different people who practiced traditional medicines. But I didn't start to really working with them until I was older, when I started to learn about colonization and about how to decolonize my life. I started to try and look at the relationships in my life, and one of those relationships was with the natural world, because we have this idea that the wilderness is separate from humans. Like, we're not allowed to go into the forest, or if we do go in the forest, there's things that might hurt us. And so one of the things that I wanted to do through starting to work more with medicines and traditional foods was reestablish a relationship with the natural world. For me, traditional medicines are a way of maintaining that relationship. And then when I create the medicines, it then allows me to create more relationships and strengthen the relationships with the people that I love in my life, because I can share that with them, or create new relationships by sharing with people that may need those medicines. And so for me, traditional medicines are a way of building relationships, but also just the act of being on the land is very grounding and connecting. And I always say that when I'm harvesting medicines, you think of a medicine as like healing like when you take it as the medicine, like it heals, like a salve would heal a wound, or an ointment would heal a wound. But there's also a healing aspect of it when you're in relationship with it, and when you're working with it, and when you're harvesting it. Because earlier I was talking about relationships and being in relationships. But when you're in a healthy relationship, it's a very healing and grounding thing. And so when you're having a reciprocal relationship with a spruce tree, or with the medicine that you're harvesting in the natural world, it's so it's a very powerful medicine, just because you're creating a positive relationship with that medicine. But also it's decolonizing, because you're breaking out of that mold, that idea that the natural world is a resource, or that it's there just to be taken. Because when you're in relationship with that plant or that medicine, you're letting it know what you're letting the plant know what you're using it for, and you're taking with the idea that you're not going to just harvest all of it, or you're going to cut down a whole forest, or it's about like reciprocity. That positive reciprocal relationship is very healing, and I sort of take and apply that concept to my life with relationships in general, to not always take from people, or to give back, and to find give and take and healing relationships and good positive relationships, decolonial relationships.